Last topic of today. I never even heard about this website until today, but this is, I want to get it right, boundingintocomics.com. They say She-Hulk writer teases series lighter take on Daredevil. People have already seen a version who is very dramatic, dark, brooding. And man, I'm really eager to hear what you have to say about this, Larry. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to disagree with me. But in case there was ever a doubt that Daredevil's character would make through his jump from Netflix to Disney Plus unscathed, She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law series creator and head writer Jessica Gao has confirmed that such audience will see a lighter side of the man without fear when he makes his costume MCU debut. Gao revealed that Hornhead's personality would echo his new original comic book costume-inspired yellow suit during August 12th interview with the director's Pamela Gores given in promotion of She-Hulk's premiere. Tuning to the subject of Daredevil at the behest of Gore, Gao began to speak up of his upcoming cameo with the sparkling recollection that she and the rest of the show's production team, well, first of all, we're shocked that we're able to use him. Like we first heard that he was on the table, I mean, we couldn't believe it. She exclaimed. We was thinking like, okay, at some point somebody's gonna say, just kidding, like it's a cruel joke and you actually can't have him. And he just kept going and kept going. After briefly noting that Matt Murdock and actor Charlie Cox was so wonderful and so game to do whatever, and he's such a wonderful actor and a wonderful human being, God then revealed that what was so fun about bringing him and Daredevil into our world is that people have already seen a Daredevil who is very dramatic, a little bit on the heavy side, very dark brooding. And it was so fun to be able to do. It was so fun to be able to do, and we do this with every character cameo from the MCU, is we take them from the environment that you know them from, which is a much more dramatic and action-oriented role, much more on the serious side, and we bring them into our world, and they get to play in the tone of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Gao explained to Gore, and they got to explore, and we got to see a lot of side of that character. Following his confirmed appearance in She-Hulk, Daredevil will continue his adventures in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the recently announced Disney Plus reboot Daredevil Born Again, and is and if a resumed credit for Marvel team costume designer Stacy Calabrero is to be believed, the Echo Solo series. Larry, how you feeling about this, man? Does it make you nervous, or are you just really don't care? Like, I mean, we all know and love the Daredevil on Netflix. You know, Kingpin is smashing people's heads in with car doors, you know, and yeah, that's crazy. Of course, we know we can't have that on Disney Plus, so I'm not too startled by this, but at the same
time, we could have it on Disney Plus. It's all going to eventually end up on Disney Plus, so why not do it now?
What?
All the stuff, all the brutal stuff that we have ends up on Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's all going to end up there eventually. This idea that we can't have it on Disney Plus, I don't think that's accurate because it all ends up there.
So after seeing the first episode, like, I mean, how are you worried about this lighter tone that she's talking about?
Actually, I'm not. To be honest with you, after I read this article and I heard the way she expressed her sentiment towards the lighter side of Daredevil, I really was thinking like, okay, yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool because you have these characters that we often see that have these dark brooding, they're these brooding figures that are just like, oh, the world is all on me, and they're constantly angry and fighting and everything else. It would be kind of cool because no one's like that all the time. And so it would be kind of cool to see the lighter side of them. And because this show does have a lighter tone, it's kind of the proper place for it. I don't think that's going to be the continual tone that we see with Daredevil. I think we're going to see him in that sort of space, and then we'll move back to where he's back to where he normally is. But I think it's important to show people as three-dimensional, characters, and not just this is all they are. I mean, as much as people hate the Hulk and Smart Hulk and everything else, that's kind of what makes the Hulk interesting also, is the fact that he's not one-dimensional to where he's just Hulk smash. That's all cool, but that gets boring after a while. You really do need to make sure that people are sort of three-dimensional, the characters are. And so I'm okay with a lighter Daredevil as long as it doesn't stay that way forever.
Okay. I got you. My opinion on that is I'm fine with it as long as he's just not too goofy and joking. I don't need my Daredevil to be extra violent. I don't need the Daredevil show with them smashing heads in the cars and stuff like that. I'm fine. I'm fine with this. As long as
You have to get smashing heads.
This is the original Daredevil, the director's cut, and this wasn't rated R. And I found this perfectly fine. If they keep it consistent with this, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I actually don't mind this movie other than the teeter-totter scene. But I'm okay with this. And as long as we don't get him doing stuff like this, like in I don't know, click the wrong thing. As long as he's not doing this right here. And goddamn, I ruined my joke or whatever that I was trying to make. And now I'm bringing up House of the Dragons. It's falling apart, Larry. The show's as long as he's not doing stuff like this.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Peter Parker and Spider-Man 3. I'm perfectly fine. I don't need to be. He don't need to be making any jokes. All I want is
Why was he channeling John Travolta there again? I couldn't remember why he was up there doing his whole dance. I was like, oh gosh, what are you doing, bro?
And to be honest, the only thing I didn't really care for in the Netflix Daredevil series is the Daredevil that I know growing up was much more agile and flexible than the Daredevil in Netflix. I mean, this dude was doing backflips, somersaulting, using his little weapon thing to swing, kind of like Spider-Man. Of course, he's not as strong and agile as Spider-Man, but as far as the fighting is concerned, I still like this right here. And so if it stays inconsistent with the Ben Affleck Daredevil, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need a rated R Daredevil.
We're gonna get Elektra.
Of course. I think that's already been announced, and so
okay.
I'm cool with it. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. We got 20 minutes before the show, so I'm gonna just look at a few comments. Punisher is on Daredevil Plus. Okay.
On Disney Plus.
What did I say?
Daredevil Plus.
I said Daredevil Plus.
you renamed the network.
Man, hold up. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'm paying for it. I might as well watch it. Let's see here. He is right. The Punisher is brutal and bloody, and it's on Disney Plus. Yeah. Another thing, hold on. I think the character may be a little light on She-Hulk, but when we get his own series, I think that may crank it up a bit.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine.
And we may not see She-Hulk stay super light. Like, we don't know. I mean, you've seen the first, the whole season? First half of the season. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe it stays light, but maybe it gets a little bit darker. I mean, I keep thinking of how sort of comedic and slapstick WandaVision was, and by the end of that series, it was not funny. It was dark and brooding and dramatic. It was not the slapstick, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s comedy, sitcom style that they had. They even though they sort of kept that vein, they surely moved away from it and made it much darker, much more dramatic. And I'm okay with that. I like those transitions. I think they're fun. I think it keeps the people interested. You don't know what you're going to get week to week.
I agree. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point, because she did enslave people's minds.
Yeah.
And then Multiverse of Madness was, it was kind of dark too. I know some kids that was afraid of Wanda. I don't know them personally, but I heard, they was afraid of Wanda, leaving the theater. And so I think this is fine. And also, I think people are kind of jumping the gun because this news came out before the first episode of She-Hulk even debuted. And so you didn't even have other than the trailers, you have no basis to go off of, So I think it'll be a-okay. I'm not worried about it. I hope he just is some nice ass kicking, and I think it's going to be that way. And so I'm actually looking forward to it.
I want to know if we're going to get some more cameos. I want to know if we're going to get a little hint of Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or the Punisher or any of them coming back in. And of course, obviously, I want a full episode with Howard the Duck. But
right on, guys. Y'all let us know what you think down in the comments. Larry, you have any more commentary on this?
I want to know what people want to see in there. I want to know what they want to see. I'm curious to a Blade. There you go. That's legit right there.
And Moon Knight is just as violent as the Punisher in the comics. Okay. Yeah, Moon Knight wasn't no soft shoeing show either. So I think we're gonna be good, y'all. I think we're gonna be good.
I feel like they played down Moon Knight's like psychosis, because in the comics, that dude was straight cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, this dude had all kinds of mental health issues, and I feel like they played that down a little bit.
Right on. Well, guys, again, if you're watching this via live on the replay, there's a link down to this article in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to wrap it up for us today. We only have 5 topics. The Movie News Roundup show number 7.